All right. We'll call the meeting to order and then entertain a motion for the signing of the claims in the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. The ayes have it. Daryl? Good morning. Everybody's got their khaki pants on today.
All right, time to present the Commissioner's Choice for the Veteran of the Month. Like in all cases, when I get to sit down with these veterans, I learn something new every time. And, you know, it takes different types. Some are told they have to go in the military, some are drafted to be as well, and then others raise their hand for another reason or whatever. And you'll find that fascinating, another twist to how we earned the trust or whatever for this gentleman to raise his right hand to come into the service. This month's veteran is Paul Cleveland. He was born in Crisco, Iowa, and is one of 11 children. His family later moved to Minnesota, followed by La Crosse, Wisconsin in 1952. At age 13, he decided to leave the nest and moved to Mondaro, Wisconsin to work on a dairy farm. Big step, 13. From here, he raised himself, and I'm sure it was with a lot of help from the family that he was working for. He attended Mondaro High School in Wisconsin, graduated in 1965. After high school, he went to Ivy Tech to learn machine repair. A short time after completing his higher level learning, and the fact that he had two older brothers already in the United States Navy, he decided to join the Navy himself in 1966. Also some other events happening at that time too, key to our nation. He attended his initial military training, or to them as boot camp to most, at the Great Lakes, Wisconsin, before being assigned to two different ships during his time in service, and the last one being the USS Waldron, which was the destroyer. Both were stationed out of Norfolk, Virginia. He served 3.5 years in the Navy and was honorably discharged in the spring of 1969 with the rank of machinist repair, second class, equivalent to an E5 in most militaries. After proudly serving his nation, Paul returned to Mondaro, Wisconsin, to continue where he left off farming to work again for the McRaes, who owned the Black Oak Dairy Farm. This is also the point of where he started courting, in some ways, his current wife. Yes, only wife. It comes to find out she worked in that same area for Salvation Army. And it just happens her boss loved unpasteurized milk. Well, he's working on a dairy farm. How do you see how that works? They later were married in 1971, or 73, sorry. We got that corrected this morning. Later, they moved together to Warsaw, Indiana in 1979 and worked for Union Tool for a little while until moving over to work for DePuy Orthopedics in 1981, retiring in 2010. In fact, Paul and Judy will be enjoying their 50th wedding anniversary in July of this year. They have 2 children, 3 grandchildren. One note is that, I don't remember the year exactly, but his mother received from the Navy Mother of the Year because she had 6 children at that time in the service. 5 boys and 1 girl. So that's an achievement by itself, and my hat's off to your mother doing that. Today, Paul and Judy continue to live in Plain Township in Kosciuszko County. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Paul Cleveland. All right. Kosciuszko County awards Veteran of the Month, Paul Cleveland, in recognition of his outstanding contributions to the mission of serving the people of the United States, the residents of Kosciuszko County, and the honorable service as a member of the United States Navy. Thank you for your service.
I just stand there.
Okay.
I'm not really a public speaker here, but I just want to thank God for his mercy and grace for protecting me all the times through the service, and thank my wife for 50-some years here soon for being a loyal companion and support for me. And I want to thank all of you for giving me this honor. When they first said something to me about this, I thought, no, choose somebody else. I didn't really do anything spectacular. But after talking with Daryl and others, that it doesn't matter as long as you're there to fill the gap and to do your part in your service, no matter what position that it may be. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Twice in one day. All right, me too. All right, we have Abate up next. Jordan? Morning.
Morning, everybody. I am Jordan Clark. I am your ABATE representative for Kosciuszko County. For those who don't know what ABATE is, we are a motorcycle rights and safety charitable organization. We help with the education of current riders, old riders, and new riders, all the way down to government vehicle license. We have safety classes we handle, as well as just refresher courses for some of those seasoned veterans who might have lost some of the skills that got back habits along the way.
You do me a favor and push that button on that microphone there. Thank you. Appreciate
Is
that.
that better?
It's on now, yeah.
So when ABATE likes to do every May Motorcycle Awareness Month, and I have a proclamation here to declare the month that motorcycle education and motorcycle safety, to me, I've been fortunate. I haven't had any accidents, any major accidents on my motorcycle. But I do have friends that have had motorcycle accidents that have been pretty serious. And I believe that the education and motorcycle awareness is very important to that. Now, I was told by, I think everyone over there knows Rhonda, I have a 50% chance on if I have to actually read this whole thing or not. Would you like me to read all of it?
Is that your, the proclamation from the
Yes,
commissioners?
this is the whole proclamation.
Okay. Do you want to read that, Brad? I think
That's a tradition. Actually, Bob's done that many times, so.
if you want me to read it?
Sure.
Is that
He's
the
kinda
proclamation from
volunteering.
the commissioners?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
You've
You
done
got a
that-
copy?
You've done
and
that for years somehow.
Yeah.
Bob.
Very good. This is Brad Jackson, president. Go ahead and do it. Okay, thank you.
I give you
Kosciuszko
permission.
County Commissioners, Warsaw, Indiana, proclamation executive order to all whom these presents may come, greetings. Whereas motorcycles serve as an excellent form of transportation in our county for commuting, touring, and recreational uses, and whereas motorcycles are energy-efficient vehicles assisting in reducing fuel consumption and contributing to reducing traffic and parking congestion in many communities, and whereas road safety is the county's highest priority for our streets, roads, and highways, and whereas increased awareness of and knowledge of the rules of the road or good driving skills are necessary for the safe operation of all vehicles. And whereas citizens interested in learning how to ride a motorcycle or improve their current riding skills and knowledge can participate in courses offered throughout the state of Indiana. And whereas the Motorcycle Riders Association of Indiana have joined with the Indiana Department of Education, Indiana Department of Transportation, and other state and county agencies in an effort to increase public awareness of the need for improved safety on our streets, roads, and highways. Now, therefore, the Kosciuszko County Commissioners, Warsaw, Indiana, do hereby proclaim the month of May 2023 as Motorcycle Safety and Awareness Month in Kosciuszko County and urge citizens to be cognizant of the need for care and awareness at all times as they live, work, and travel our streets, roads, and highways throughout our great county. In testimony, therefore, we thereto set our hand and cause to be affixed the seal of Kosciuszko County, City of Warsaw, State of Indiana, on the 11th day of April, 2023.
Thank you.
Very good.
You owe him a big thanks. No, I'm just kidding.
I could not have read that as smoothly.
We should make a motion.
Okay.
Entertain a motion to make this motorcycle.
You do all the work, Bob.
I will do so. Make motion, we make this month Kosciuszko County Motorcycle Awareness Safety through the Abate Organization.
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
You have another one, you want that signed as well?
Yes, if you would.
While we're doing it. I know my sons both have motorcycle endorsements, and they went through the Abate program. And it was beneficial for them because a lot of situations would arise that they had been trained to deal with through Abate that they wouldn't have had the education previous to that. So it's a good organization.
You guys want a picture to get this in the paper? Okay.
We'll do that.
You got some others that want to jump up here?
I'm gonna move this real fast. You can go ahead, Leah.
All right, everybody look at me first. I'll take two. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
I want to get your names right over. Commission. Very quickly, either.
Forgot how funny you were.
It's supposed to get better real quick. That's what they tell me. Go under the knife. Your son-in-law had 3 of these.
Thank you, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Meniscus torn 3 times.
All right. Robert, you ready?
He did his playing football.
Morning, Bob.
Morning.
We'll do it together. How's that sound? Oh, you're all right.
Good morning.
Good.
I'm here today to ask permission to apply for a Health Issues and Challenges grant. That's a grant from the ARPA monies. And the purpose of the grant is to actually begin a lead testing program at our clinic for equipment and even possibly a part-time nursing individual maybe to do the testing. It's hard to tell right now. We don't know how busy we would be with requests for child lead testing. But it's all in response to the new law, which went into effect January of this year, which requires 2 lead tests for every child before the age of 6. And they suggest that medical clinics and, in fact, you have to offer it. So we would like to offer that. We think it'd be a real convenience for our clientele who use this for childhood immunizations. And it doesn't, they don't have to have it. They can have a parent sign off. But if they would like that, it would be a convenience for them, I think, to just have everything done at our clinic.
Okay. Any questions?
So anybody can avail themselves of that. This doesn't have to be someone who visits the clinic. Anybody in the county can come to the clinic and have their child tested?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they wouldn't have to get the shots there. Is that what you're asking?
They could do just
They-
that.
they could
No,
just-
Yeah, just the
Sure.
lead testing, if that's a concern
Sure,
of theirs. Yeah.
Sure,
Okay,
they can do that.
Okay.
very good.
Entertain a motion?
Make a motion to approve the request for grant request for Bob.
Second,
Okay, and how much was that, just real quick? How
41
much, what was the amount?
41,000.
Okay. Okay. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? All right. You're good.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks. Anyone here from the prosecutor's office? I don't see Dan or Brad. Okay. Sheriff.
Morning.
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 I come before you today for request of approval on the Securus contract, which is our phone company inside the jail. We've been longtime partners with Securus over 10 years. Important part of, or I guess exciting part, I should say, would be the implementation of the tablets. I know I've spoke to many of you about. We're one of the last jails in the area to actually to implement these. It's simple as each inmate will have one issued to them, and that's where they're going to do a lot of they'll do their visitations on the tablets. There'll be educational applications on the tablet. 80% of what's on that tablet is going to be free to the inmate. One of the things I'm most excited about this contract, and kind of where this became a thing for me after visiting the inmates in the jail, I found that there's a influx of indigent inmates. So it's important for me when I negotiated this contract was to put a piece in there that would allow a free visit for each of the inmates once a week. So each inmate will get a 20-minute visit free of charge each week. Now, they can have more than that, which they'll pay for, but it was important to me to at least be able to offer that. So we're excited about that. Your sick call forms, your grievance forms, your commissary, all those types of things will now be downloaded on this tablet, so which means less paper running through the jail. All their mail that's given to them will be, or mailed to them rather, will actually be uploaded onto the tablet, and they'll be able to view it right there on the tablet. So we're excited about that. There are some investigative tools that are inside these tablets that'll be beneficial for our investigators to conduct their business as well. So I'm just asking for approval of the contract.
Jim, I guess I'd like to say thank you. I know this is a contract you worked on quite a bit and spent a lot of time negotiating this contract for your inmates or for the county, and just appreciate your hard efforts, and I'd make a motion to approve this request. 2 contracts.
I'd second that with comment as well. I think you know and understand the issues we've had in the jail in the past. And you and Chris have worked a lot of time on trying to figure out how to correct that, and what we can do to better help the inmate acclimate to being an inmate, and help them be a better person, and try to circumvent those issues before they happen. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
They both stole about everything I was going to say, so. I mean,
Yay.
I know you've done a lot of work, and I applaud you too. I know you worked with Ed, and you made sure that the contract worked well for you and the county, which is one and the same, so. Good effort on both your parts. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll call for the question.
Call
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keep up the
Thank
good
you,
work.
guys. Okay, the CAB's de-obligation presentation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Steve Lockridge, I'm the GM over at Cabs. So what we're doing today is, in 2020, we received 1.3 million in the CARE Act funding, which ended of June 30th of 22. The CARE Act funding was used for Cabs' net operating expenses eligible under the Section 5311 transit funding. Because we were able to use the CARE Act funding the first 6 months of 2022 of the calendar year, we were unable to use all the federal and capital funds that we were awarded between the CARE Act funding, the ridership being at a all-time low at the height of the pandemic and the difficult labor market. We have $323,068 in federal funds and $21 in capital equipment funds that will be de-obligated back to NDOT. These funds, along with other transit agencies, unused funds that were de-obligated, will be reprogrammed across the entirety of the 5311 program in the future grant periods.
Thanks for coming in today. I mean, I realize that, you know, with those other CARE Act dollars you had, you used to spend those up first before you started to use the NDOT dollars. And we understand that, you know, because of that, you weren't able to burn all the, or use all the money that was given you by NDOT. So I'd make a motion to approve the de-obligation of those monies going back to NDOT.
Got a motion?
I'd second that.
Okay, any questions? All's in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? All right,
Thank you.
thanks,
All right,
Steve.
thank you.
Amy? Good morning.
We're at a really exciting venture in this journey of help. So just a quick recap. We've went through 4 phases. We are in the 4th. So first was building a team. Second, community engagement. Third, reviewing all project ideas that were submitted and determine which ideas were the most important to the community members, move those forward to those town boards, allow them to decide upon which projects would then be moved forward with putting together project and program worksheets. And then now, finally, we have the opportunity to present, which I did send this to you, and it looks like you have it in front of you. The final product of the project and program worksheets related to each of the communities, including the county. So today, what we have to do is really just review this, ensure that it's grammatically correct, and that it is a representation of what we desire to adopt to move forward then with the funding phase. Once we complete this, this ties us up in a nice bow for all of the phases of the program, and then we will be able to move forward to determine funding. No funding decisions will be made today. That will be in a future stage. So a quick kind of rundown of what will happen once you guys review this and adopt it. On the 26th of April, we will meet with our CDBG team, Carrie, myself, Pam, who is the CDBG expert, and I believe Allie, who is the Okra liaison, and Zach with MACOG. At that time, we will review all of the projects once again, and also the LMI, low to moderate income, I don't know what the technical term for that is, but LMI. And we will determine if any of the communities have to do what they call a income survey. And the income survey would be an opportunity for the communities to ensure that they have the opportunity to meet that expectation of LMI. LMI is the restriction for using the funds that are called CDBG, so Community Development Block Grant Funds. Once that's complete, if an income survey has to be done in any of the communities, that would be done, I believe, in May, and then the first part of June. And then the hope, Lord willing, is that we would be able to bring all of the elected bodies together to review the projects just specifically for the county with all of the information we have in the research and the understanding of the CDBG eligibility. And then we would let all of the individuals, such as yourself and the commissioners, or the council, and the ARPA committee determine which projects would move forward and the funding that would make those things happen. So really interesting and fun thing that we have. And then I will let you answer any or ask any questions. This specific program and also Forward Kosciuszko has spurred on additional funding, which is a very neat part of the process. So the Community Foundation were the first to be able to follow up, and they have awarded all of our help communities with additional funding to put seed money towards the projects that they will then build a capital stack with their ARPA funds and the CDBG funds. So, pretty neat.
Amy, I want to thank you. I know this has been over a year-long process that we've been walking through this, and I know it's took a lot of effort on a lot of people, and I want to thank everybody that's been part of the HELP program, because in the back, there's kind of a list of all the individuals that served on committees and were part of this. I mean, this was something that was, I don't know if it's ever been done in the county from a perspective of that we actually included 4 other communities besides the county, and trying to get everybody involved in that and getting feedback from all the different communities and what they'd like to see in their communities. But this strategic investment plan is what this document is called, was what one of the requirements was from Okra for us to be awarded or to be able to have access to $1 million in CBG funds. So from this kind of spells out the different projects for the county. It spells out the other 3 communities that are in the SIP, which is Pierceton, Mentone, and Milford. So it has their list of projects, so from here, today we're just adopting this, pretty much the strategic investment plan. And like Amy said, probably later in May, we'll actually come together and look at those projects and then decide which ones will move forward and what funding would be used, because I think that's the thing that I'm seeing happen is now we have a list of some projects that the county and other communities would like to see done. Not only do we have our ARPA funds and we also have our CBG funds that were awarded with this, but now we're seeing the Community Foundation and we're seeing other organizations that have grant opportunities for us to be able to fund some of these projects that are even beyond what we had originally talked about, which is what our hope was, is as this grew and we seen opportunity, that we'd really be able to really blossom and kind of start checking down the list of projects that these communities wanted to see done, and it's really leveraging our taxpayer dollars, because it's monies from even outside our community that are helping fund some of these projects. So it's a win-win all the way around, and just to have that input from multiple communities, and being able to get all this boiled down into a nice document that we can present and use to move forward with some projects is really neat to see. So I appreciate all your efforts, and I'd make a motion to approve the SIP.
Bob,
I'll second that.
any other questions or discussion?
The nice thing, I think, is that it's a community effort, totally countywide. Funding sources have been recognized, and there's no debate as to what's going to happen and how much it's going to cost. There's no surprises in this thing. So thank you, I appreciate it.
You good, Bob? Ready to
I second
call
that.
for the vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
So look from me for an email sometime hopefully in May or the beginning of June, just to follow up, and then we get to the good stuff, which is making things happen. So I appreciate it.
Thanks. All right, any department heads, office holders have anything? See 3 of you in here, at least. No? All right. Let's see. So Ed,
We have a resolution for consideration by the commissioners. I'll read that. The resolution is approval of the acquisition of right-of-way by Kosciuszko County for 2 different City of Warsaw-owned properties adjacent to the Hand Avenue Bridge project over Walnut Creek. Whereas the Board of Commissioners is the executive body and legislative body of the county. Whereas the City of Warsaw, Indiana supports the Hand Avenue Bridge project over Walnut Creek by the county and wishes the bridge improvement project to be completed by the county. Whereas 2 separate parcels of real property adjacent to the current right-of-way that are currently owned by the city and as more fully described in Exhibits A and B are necessary to be owned by the county and become included in the right-of-way for the bridge improvement project, whereas the board has approved a proposal to the city of a fair market value offer to acquire the parcels from the city in the amount of $1,400 and $1,500 respectively. Whereas Indiana Code 36-1-11-8 provides a transfer or exchange of property may be made by governmental entities upon similar resolutions. Whereas the Common Council of the city has passed a resolution that it would be in the best interest of the city and in the best interest of the community as a whole to accept the fair market offer for the parcels. Whereas the board believes it is in the best interest of the county and in the best interest of the community as a whole to purchase at fair market value the parcels. Now therefore, the following is hereby resolved by the board. Purchase of the parcels by the county from the city at the fair market values of $1,400 and $1,500 respectively is hereby approved, and the county is hereby authorized to pay said amounts to the city for the parcels. And 2, the board approves the county taking any necessary actions to complete the acquisition of the parcels and the intent of this resolution. Now, this resolution has been reviewed by Steve Moriarty as our highway department head and approved by him as well. Submit for consideration.
And we do have to pay the money, obviously. This
Yeah,
doesn't
we do
set
have
well
to
with
pay
me.
it. Yeah.
We pay for the land to build a bridge in the,
Yeah. Red tape, you know.
I agree, Brad. I think it's unbelievable, but it's something we have to do to keep the bridges maintained and get the work done. It's an integral part of the process, I guess.
But the
So is that-
cumulative bridge
motion.
fund is from everybody in the county.
True.
So,
That's
I
true.
mean, it's money that's coming from taxpayers inside the city of Warsaw to pay for that.
basically moving from one pocket to another.
Right.
That's good.
That's my
That makes me
motion.
feel better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's my motion.
Okay, Bob has made a motion.
I'd second that, and just a comment from a perspective of just, I don't know if everybody knows, but the county is responsible for all the bridges in the county that aren't under NDOT jurisdiction. So even if they're in the city of Warsaw or in another municipality, it's still the responsibility of the county. You know, we do have an Acume Bridge Fund. It's a special tax that's levied for that purpose. So, you know, even though this is inside the city of Warsaw, I mean, it's right down here at the end of Center Street, Han Street, and Market. So, you know, down at the intersection there at the overpass is where this is happening, where it goes across Walnut Creek. But it's still the responsibility of the county to maintain those bridges, even inside the municipality here. So, but there is a tax that is collected countywide to be able to help fund that, so.
Call the vote.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Nothing
Anything else?
further.
Okay.
Yes, I have 2 items here for your approval today. The first one is the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant. It's a program that's put out there for energy-related projects. This has come to us through MACOG, and Leah Till at MACOG has been very helpful through this process. The grant, they call it a grant, but due to the dollar amounts, the county is going through the voucher part of the process, and it's for $77,790. We're submitting it for both the technical assistance and the equipment rebate. We can either replace any type of equipment, any type of lighting change from regular to LED, and also energy audit in the county for HVAC equipment, those types of things. So I present this for your approval.
I'd make a motion to approve the grant.
Second.
Okay, any questions or discussion? All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. The other item I have is for the generators at the 3 tower sites out in the county. This would be for the maintenance part of these grants. I have 2, one from McAllister with a total of $5,823. That would be for a 3-year period. And then from Evapar for 3 sites per year would be $22,580. With confirmation that this total amount is for 3 years, I would recommend that we go with McAllister. We have contracts with them for other generators here in the county, and they do good work for us. But with that confirmation of that being the 3-year total, I would ask that, based on that, we approve the McAllister contract.
So just to clarify, 'cause that is kind of confusing, the McAllister is a significantly amount cheaper, less money.
Yes.
And we've got a history with them, so.
Yes.
Because the way it reads, it sounds like they're the highest.
Yes. So I just like to have clarification from McAllister that based on that, I would recommend them, based on that confirmation.
I'd make a motion to approve your recommendation of McAllister based
Second.
upon that it is the 3-year agreement, or 3-year total.
Okay. Got a motion, second, Bob? Okay, any other questions? All's in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay.
That's all I have. Thank you.
I don't see Rhonda. You guys got anything? All right. Troy?
No, we have nothing, thank you.
All right. All right. Nobody else has anything? We'll plan on seeing everybody in 2 weeks on April 25th.
Solid waste.
11 o'clock. Why don't we move the highway first on the agenda? Because this is a waste of time. Oh, yeah. Is there a reason not to?
It needs signatures.
Marcia, do you see a reason not to put the highway department at the top of the agenda so that they don't consider it waste? I mean, a lot of dollars just sitting there.
Yeah.
Hi.
You even got your spiffy shirt on today.
I do.